First of all, Oscar was a defense contractor who worked at Northrop Facility, Air Force Plant 42. So Air Force Plant 42 was the final assembly for the B-2 stealth bomber. Now, Northrop earlier, they bought a Ford assembly plant in Pico Rivera, California. They converted that to a sub-assembly facility for the B-2, and then those components were brought over to Air Force Plant 42 Northrop facility for final assembly. This gentleman had a 30-year NDA that expired in 2016. So he signed it back in '86, kind of at the height of the Hudson Valley boomerang sightings. It expired in 2016, so he could talk about it. He was very reluctant to talk. He mentioned a secret version of the B-2 that was 50% larger, could hover, was silent, and utilized 3 engines, probably MFDs, magnetic field disruptors, probably had a nuclear reactor on board. This is exactly what the Hudson Valley boomerang witnesses reported. Exactly. And then he said for every 3 B-2 stealth bombers produced, 1 advanced version was built, a 7 total. So could we have 7 of these secret versions? He stated that this craft was commonly mistaken for a UFO. So if we take the testimony of Oscar, we overlay that onto the eyewitness testimony of what the witnesses are telling us. It's a match. I believe that something was built by Northrop that they haven't talked about. They probably used some of that $22.4 billion to build this other version that has never been revealed. This is what was seen by the Hudson Valley witnesses between 1983 to 1989.
Now I would like to speak to you about another concrete application of such technology. The B-2 bomber, whose development started in 1982. The official B-2 stealth bomber, which flew for the first time in 1989, was to serve as cover for another unconventional B-2 to be built in parallel. This top-secret model used, among other things, a plasma creation system, exploiting the airflow like an MHD generator. This system produces ionization of the air around the B-2, thereby suppressing air resistance while ensuring total invisibility for any type of radar. This nuclear bomber has flown for 15 years now at more than Mach 10. It can fly around the Earth in just a few hours without being seen.
This fellow was also a pioneer and such. His name was Paul Bennewitz. He was going to go public with the UFO and the alien agenda thing. He was a CIA pilot. He was also with the U.S. Air Force. Of course, they couldn't let that happen, so they stuffed him in the trunk of a car one night, took him off to a mental institution, and made him into a mental vegetable. He can't even write his own name today. If it wasn't for a brother who spent $1 million and a sister looking for him, he'd probably still been rotting away in some institution somewhere.
Let's put this in case over a second.
Okay. What we've got here, like I mentioned, is basic alien technology. It was adapted for us. Paul Bennewitz, once again, he developed the shape of this aircraft, as well as how the bombs were to be dropped. He was also into other projects through Los Alamos. This is in Saudi Arabia, and the jets were both turbine as well as nuclear powered for extremely high flight. Now we have the Aurora, which is a trans-atmospheric vehicle, and the Aurora, there's 4 of them currently being tested. I know that's being refuted too by a couple of local gun shows before my lecture. He says, well, the Aurora doesn't exist, Phil, you know that. I said, well, really? I says, well, I guess you don't think this exists either. And that was a picture, that was his map. He said, no, that doesn't exist either. And I said, really? Interesting. Okay. I suggest you have a seat and learn something.
But they have one surpassing the Aurora now?
Yes, there are 2 other prototypes that are small space shuttles. capable of speeds in excess of 40,000 miles an hour. And plus, we also employ 29 prototypes of flying saucer and are successful in piloting those at up to 90,000 miles an hour in the atmosphere without burning up. That's doing something, because when you push, you go beyond Mach 3, actually beyond Mach 2.7, you ionize the air around it, and you cause the elements of the air to actually catch fire, and you need a force field around that system to exceed Mach 3 or Mach 4 without burning up, because you'll be as hot as a glowing meteorite coming in at about 30 or 40,000 degrees. Anyway, the Aurora, there's 4 of them flying. They fly day and night. They have 12 people in it as a crew. They can have a skeleton crew of as few as 6. They can basically leave Tonopah test range at 7 o'clock in the morning, do a complete loop around Russia and China, take all the pictures. They're predominantly a spy plane. They can take pictures, come back for lunch. That's how rapid it is. They attain from basically zero. Once again, this aircraft, and this aircraft are anti-lifting bodies. They are not conventional winged aircraft. A flying saucer theoretically is a circular wing. These are not. These are anti-lifting bodies. In other words, it takes an incredible amount of speed before they're able to take off. This is all, once again, this is all part of the one world government type system. I try to stay away from the political end, but it's kind of like the one world government system. Take over the planet, and hopefully we don't have to tell the people of the planet what the alien agenda is.